Come, Ray. The one constant through all the years, Ray, has been baseball.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win. Now the 2-1. Line drive to the base hit. Just as it scored a tying run. Green to the plate. And he is safe. Safe at the plate. The Braves go to the World Series.
Have reserved seats somewhere along one of the baselines that sat when they were children and cheered their heroes.
Gibson swings and a fly ball to deep right field. This is going to be a home run. Unbelievable!
A 3-run home run for Bucky Dent. The Yankees now lead by a score of 3-2.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mazeroski has hit a 1-0 pitch over the left field fence at Ford Field to win the 1960 World Series.
They'll arrive at your door as innocent as children, longing for the past.
The Pope arrived at Yankee Stadium. As one enthusiastic announcer put it, he is standing on second base.
Reggie Jackson. Long drive right field. It is led by big World Series.
The Blue Jays are World Series champions as Joe Carter hits a 3-run home run.
Back and throws. There's a ball back. It's going to be, I believe, the Giants from the pennant. The Giants from the pennant. The Giants from the pennant.
The 0-1 pitch. A liner off Nagy's glove into center field. The Florida Marlins have won the World Series.
The memories will be so thick that I can brush them with my faces.
The 1-0 delivery to Fisk. He swings long drive left field. If it stays there, it's gone. Home run. The Red Sox win. And the series is...
Lolich fires. Ball is hit high in the air. This should be the series. Freehand waving everybody away in foul territory. Detroit wins.
Here's the pitch to Willie. There's a liner straight to Richardson. The ball game is over and the World Series is over. Willie McCovey hit it like a bullet. A line drive right.
Baseball to mark the time.
The Oakland A's take.
I'll tell you what, we're having an earth.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Candlestick Park for Game 3 of the 1989 World Series.
It's been erased like a blackboard, rebuilt and erased again.
Frank Robinson, the right-hand batter.
Long drive to left field. Way back. Yes, it's hit back. One out.
Base hit loaded, 1 out. Pena in a jam. The Twins are going to win the World Series. The Twins have won it.
Ozzie with 1 out. Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It's a home run. And the
Willie Mays just brought this crowd to its feet with a catch, which must have been an optical illusion to a lot of people.
This field, this game, is a part of our past, Ray. It reminds us of all that once was good, and it could be again.
Broadcasted live.
Who wants to have some fun?
There are balls coming from all over the place. Left field, center field, right field. See, this is the kind of thing, quite honestly, right now, that makes you want to see the Chicago Cubs team lose.
Now, you just saying you want to have fun, or do you really want to have fun?
It'll be fun.
Will the next person that sees anybody throw anything onto this field, point them out, or get them out of here? You don't live in Cleveland. You live in Cincinnati.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
That is the farthest thing in the universe from the truth.
Hello, everyone, live. It's the Dan Scott Show. And right then is your host, Dan Scott.
All right, good morning. And welcome to the Tuesday edition of the program. I am Dan Scott. Good to have you with us. Hope that your day is off to a great start. It's looking like it's going to end up being a nice day here in the upstate of South Carolina today. It was a little overcast and cold this morning when I left the house shortly before 6:30 a.m. to go to a men's prayer breakfast that I attend on Tuesdays. But we're heading for a high in the mid-60s. The clouds are breaking up. I see a lot of blue skies and a beautiful, beautiful view that I have of Paris Mountain out beyond the visitor stands here at Paladin Stadium. My office in this studio is the football radio broadcast booth here at Paladin Stadium, and I have the great, great blessing of having the best view on this campus. And that's not just me. That's people who have been here for 20 years or more when they come in to see me about something, and their reaction is, man, you've got the best view on campus. So you know what? I'll take it. I love it. Blessing to come to work in a place like this every day. So how you doing? Hope that, as I said, everything is well. You know our goal here. That is, if your day is off to a good start, we're going to try not to do anything to screw it up. If not, maybe we can provide a little bit of a lift for you and see what we can do about that. But the main goal each and every day is to try and learn something we did not know. And I always qualify that starts right here in the host chair because it's easier for some of us than others. We have an awful lot to learn. I have to share a story with you this morning. It's kind of funny, and at the same time, it just again, if you're a person of faith like I am, and you are not connected in your church with a men's ministry, or if you're a lady in a women's ministry, please do so, because the men's ministry at Utica Baptist in Seneca, where I go, has been a tremendous blessing for me over these last nearly 6 years since coming to Christ. And it is a group like any group of men that gets together. There's quite a bit of cutting up and picking on one another. And so we're at breakfast this morning, and unbeknownst to me, one of the guys, as we were doing our morning announcements and prayer requests, he says, by the way, we have a young man, talking about me, who is going to be celebrating a birthday on Saturday. He'll be 51, and that does make me, on most occasions, the youngest guy in the group there. But so they said, they sang happy birthday to me ahead of time because it's coming up on Saturday. But then apparently they told the waitress about it, because when she brought my omelet this morning, my omelet had a candle in the middle of it, a candle that was lit, which I thought was a nice touch. And it was also very funny. Everybody got a good laugh out of that. But 51 years old coming up on Saturday. And I get to celebrate it basically in two ways that I couldn't think of any better way to do it. I get to spend it with my family. The second part of the day, the early and the later part of the day. And in the middle, I get to spend it at the ballpark. I mean, what better way for a guy who loves his family and loves baseball to spend his birthday? And then Sunday I get to go to church and spend the day after with my church family. So I'm all excited about coming up on Saturday. The one thing I have found out, though, and some of you who are in the same age range that I am, may be going through this same thing. And I guess, and I've talked about it before, I guess it's just a function of getting older. But I am tired of cold weather. And I handle cold weather much worse now than I did when I was younger. And I understand why people move from the north into our area and sometimes even further south to Florida or what the case may be to get away from cold weather. Because when I get cold, really cold now, it seems to take forever to warm up. And it didn't used to be that way. So I guess it's just a function of getting older. I'm tired of cold weather. I'm ready for spring to settle in and get nice and warm. Spring is my favorite season of the year. I saw something yesterday that said it's not April the 9th, it's January 93rd. That was from a buddy of mine back in West Virginia where they, I think, got some snow yesterday. So it's all a matter of perspective, but my perspective is changing as I get older. And then one other thing last night that really has nothing to do with anything other than it reminds me that in some way, shape, or form in past years we have made some kind of an impact, whether that's good or bad. Those of you who are over-the-air television connoisseurs know that there is a station broadcast locally, which is a national station called MeTV. It's one of those throwback television networks, and it recently just changed from one of Channel 7's digital channels to Channel 4's digital channel 4.2 for whatever reason. But anyway, in doing so, MeTV has added the television show WKRP in Cincinnati to its lineup. And anybody, again, my age or a little bit older, who's worked in the radio business has worked at WKRP in Cincinnati. You just worked at it at a different station known by different call letters, but the idea of the malfunction and the dysfunction is the same. And of course, the most famous episode of that show came from the very first season, and it was called Turkeys Away, and it was the great turkey drop promotion put together by Mr. Carlson and Les Nessman doing the play-by-play of the whole thing, and, oh, the humanity, and the turkeys are hitting the ground like sacks of wet cement. And then the payoff line, of course, at the end, the very last line of the show was the big guy, Arthur Carlson, with the, "As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly." Well, every Thanksgiving, or the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, on the old radio show over at Clemson, we would go to the Bilo. It actually started out in front of the station, but we would go to Bilo, and we would deep fry turkeys and give away free deep fried turkey sandwiches to people who came in and brought canned goods or went into Bilo and bought canned goods that we would then take to the local food bank. And it was a huge success every year, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, even before we started that, and I still do it now during the week, it just doesn't have the same impact, but I always play the clips from WKRP in Cincinnati's Great Turkey Drop on that week of Thanksgiving. Only time that I do it. And it started way back then. Well, last night, I got a Twitter message from somebody who tagged me in it and said, the episode is about to air now, the funniest episode, in their opinion, in sitcom history. So it was just kind of a nice reminder that, whether it was something that was important or not, that you made an impact and people remembered things and remembered you having fun. And with that came doing some good for people who needed it at that time. And I think we all need to be reminded from time to time, not necessarily about the funny side of things or even remembering a television show like that, but associate whatever it takes to associate it with that there are people out there who always need help. And that was a period of time in which we were able to use the show to be able to do things to help other people. And I'm longing for the day that this thing takes off to the point where we can do the same thing, where we can have the kind of impact by just putting the word out and having people go to it, because that was a phenomenal thing. We leave it in the hands of the Lord now and let him lead and see where it goes. But that was just a reminder about the fun and the impact that we had during those times. And Ronnie, if you're watching this, I appreciate the tweet. I got a big kick out of that last night. We have a good show for you today. We're going to talk with Bob Woodard. He is the play-by-play voice of Winthrop baseball. Furman and Winthrop meet this evening, 6 o'clock, Latham Stadium, in midweek action. First of 4 straight home games for Brett Harker's Paladins, and trying for a season sweep of Winthrop after knocking them off up at their place going back to last month. So we'll talk to Bob about what this Winthrop team looks like now compared to what it looked like earlier in the season when the Paladins won that game there 8-3, I believe the final score was. And if we have any time, we've got some other news and notes we want to get to. But after the break, you may have seen yesterday that Furman freshman Jared Mihalik was named Collegiate Baseball's National Player of the Week for his exploits of last week. We're going to dive into that a little bit and let you hear why he was named the Player of the Week nationally, and also, by the way, the Southern Conference Player of the Week to go along with it. All of that is ahead. We begin by reminding you, as always, that the show is presented each and every day by our friends at the Atlanta Bread Company. Jeff Massey and his people there, I keep telling you, the food is fantastic, the service is even better, and their commitment to this show has been just phenomenal. And I would really urge you and appreciate it if you would go in there, enjoy the food, and then take the time to tell them, A, you heard about them from the show, and B, that you appreciate what they did and what they are doing to support the program. They're located just down the road from campus in Cherrydale Plaza. That is the Atlanta Bread Company. You'll hear more about them in this commercial set. And when we come back, we are going to dive into the Player of the Week performance from freshman Jared Mihalik. That's on the other side. This is the Dan Scott Show. Don't go away.
Holding, number 79, defense, first down. I'm also holding a party tonight.
Great call by the official. Looks like we've got another flag on the field.
Holding, a Pepsi. Necessary refreshment.
Hey, Ted, bring some of that Pepsi to my party.
Pepsi and the NFL. Welcome to the Fun Doesn't End Zone.
The Atlanta Bread Company wants to make your dining experience as convenient as possible, especially if you're ordering takeout. Go online to atlantabreadcompany.com, place your order there, and pay for it too. Then, when you get to the restaurant at Cherrydale Point, you breeze right by the cash registers and go straight to the pickup counter where your food will be waiting. And speaking of food, try the new shrimp po' boy, a delicious and surprisingly healthy addition to the already great menu. That's the Atlanta Bread Company, Cherrydale Point in Greenville. When the Furman baseball team goes on the road, it travels safely with the latest technology with Jeans Tours and Charters. Jeans has been a Furman favorite for decades and has serviced Furman baseball for over 20 years. Take it from head coach Brett Harker. Book your next road trip with Jeans. Jeans Tours and Charters online at jeansbussvc.com or call 864-242-1673. Jeans Tours and Charters, servicing the upstate since 1980.
If you've been sidelined by an injury, the St. Francis Sports Medicine Team is here 24/7 to get you back on the field. Our highly trained network of physicians, athletic trainers, and physical therapists treat all types of sports-related injuries, even those that don't occur from playing a sport. Call the St. Francis Hurt Line at 675-HU-RT for priority appointments or at-home advice. Again, that's 675-HU-RT.
All right, we are back, and good to have you with us. You try to do things on the fly like I do, since I am host, producer, director, janitor, everything here. And you're working with these wonderful programs that I have on my iPad and computers to make things work a little easier, until you try to do too many things at once with one of the programs and realize that you just short-circuited yourself, and in order to get one thing to work, you've got to close it out and start it again. And you can't do that in the middle of a commercial. So anyway, that's why there was a little bit of a delay between the end of the commercial and the bumper music coming back. We had to restart the program on the iPad. Why you need to know that, I have no idea. But there you go. As we continue here, I want to tell you about the Walk a Mile project. They are a 501c3 nonprofit humanitarian aid organization based out of Anderson, but they serve for all over the place. And their goal is to organize, build, encourage, and invest in ways to meet the physical needs of impoverished communities around the world. Well, how do they do that, you ask? Well, they encourage and equip groups on how to go on these mission trips, how to prepare for a trip, how to form a trip, how to raise funds to get there, and then once they're there, how to do things like build houses, feed a village, conduct medical clinics, and so forth and so on. You see the website there on the bottom of your screen, the whamproject.org. Please tell them that you heard about them here on the show and go to that website and see how you can partner with them. Or if you have a church group that is perhaps thinking about a mission trip and praying about a mission trip, these are folks who can answer some of those questions for you. The Walk a Mile Project, and we thank them for their sponsorship of the show. All right, so again, as you hopefully have seen by now, if you haven't, Furman freshman Jared Mihalik is named the National Player of the Week for his exploits last week in 4 games against Georgia State and 3 against Mercer, 1 against Georgia State and 3 against Mercer to equal 4. Homering in all 4 games, becoming the first Paladin to do so since Chris Olmstead in 2015, and that's a school record. So if he is fortunate enough to play long ball again today, he will set a new school record for homering in 5 consecutive games. He, of course, started 3 games very early in the season, 3 games that Jake Crawford pitched on the weekends before Jake was moved out of the weekend rotation because of some shoulder issues, and has not gotten a whole lot of playing time since. Well, he continues to work, and this is a lesson for all young players really at any level, but we're talking specifically the D1 level here collegiately. You're a freshman, you come in, there are people ahead of you, you continue to work. You get an opportunity, maybe it doesn't work out early, and they do something else. You continue to put the work in, continue to develop. And I've noticed as the season has gone on, as I'm watching batting practice, and I mentioned this yesterday, there's just something special about the ball coming off this kid's bat. And he got the opportunity when Jason Costa got well enough to go back behind the plate after spending the first half of the season as the DH because of the torn UCL in his elbow. He's rehabbed that arm enough where he can throw well enough to go back behind the plate and catch. So what that did was open up an opportunity at the designated hitter spot. Well, Mihalik got the call, and he got the call last week on Wednesday against Georgia State. He homered in, I believe it was the 4th inning, to cut what was a 10-1 lead deficit to 10-3, a 2-run shot. That was the first home run the Paladins had hit in 82 2/3 innings. So it was the top of the third, the bottom of the 3rd inning, I guess, that he hit the home run. Bottom line is, not only did that lift the lid off of the power struggles for Furman, and they have been hitting home runs with some regularity since then, but it was the beginning of this streak for Jared Mihalik. So in honor of him being named the National Player of the Week by Collegiate Baseball, and subsequently the Southern Conference Player of the Week for a 4 home run, 9 RBI performance, homering in all 4 games Furman played last week. Here is a little audio tour of all 4 of those home runs that Jared Mihalik hit last week. Hope you enjoy it. Take a listen. Just in the event, Mihalik swings and hits one back into deep left field. He got a bunch of it, and he got it all. It is gone. First home run of the career for Jared Mihalik to straightaway left field. Romero Greer just ran out of room. A 2-run shot, and it's a 10-3 ball game.
1-1 pitch. Fly ball.
Deep left field. Going back his post is to the wall. It is gone. Second home run of the year, second in as many games for Jared Mihalik. And the Paladins have come all the way back, and they can take a 4-3 lead. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung on, and it's hit high and deep. Straight away left field. It is gone. Jared Mihalik strikes again. A 3-run home run here in the top of the first inning, and the Paladins have exploded out of the gate here in Macon, Georgia. Mercy. Not a whole lot of doubt about that one from the time it left the bat. 2-0. And he swings and hits one high and deep into left center field. Did he do it again? He did. You gotta be kidding me. Jared Mihalik to the right of the scoreboard in left center field. That is 4 games in a row this kid has homered in, and Furman leads it 2-0. The word unbelievable is overused in the broadcasting industry, but unbelievable. First Paladin to homer in 4 straight games since Chris Olmstead in 2015. As you might imagine, for a broadcaster, those moments are fun, even when you don't have your full voice, which I still don't have, but we managed to choke it out. And again, you just never know. There's so many cliches about baseball, and you hear them all the time, but that doesn't make them any less true. You go to the ballpark, and you just never know when you're going to see something that you've never seen before, or something that is totally unexpected. I had the great privilege of calling all 4 of those Chris Olmstead home runs in 2015, and that's pretty heady company for Jared Mihalik, because Olmstead, of course, is Furman's all-time career leader in home runs and runs batted in. So that's some pretty heady company to be mentioned with after that performance. That's another reason why #LoveMyJob. You just never know. Whether it's football, basketball, baseball, those moments are among the many things that make what I do so special and so fun. And I try to remember how blessed I am to have that opportunity. So congratulations to Jared Mihalik, Collegiate Baseball's National Player of the Week, the Southern Conference Player of the Week. Wouldn't that have been embarrassing for the conference if he was the National Player of the Week and didn't win the Conference Player of the Week honors? Thankfully, they got it right. And now we will see if he can extend that mark today against the Winthrop Eagles, 6 o'clock at Latham Stadium. And those final 2 home runs, by the way, in the doubleheader, both ends of the doubleheader against Mercer, came in the first inning. So he was getting off to an early start. And not to be pigeonholed into just a power guy, he also sprinkled some other hits throughout there. Had multiple hit games, I think, in either 3 of the 4 or maybe all 4 of those games. So, he's not a guy who's just a one-trick pony. I think the more you see of this kid, the more you're going to like him, and the more comfortable he gets, the better he's going to get. I know this, like all of these guys, they just work and work and work and work. And that's all you can ask if you're a coaching staff. All right, to break, we come back, and when we do, Bob Woodard will join us, and we'll talk about Furman and Winthrop tonight at Latham Stadium. That's straight ahead here on this edition of the Dan Scott Show.
Hey, Furman fans, it's baseball season. Here at Ingalls, we know that as you root for the home team, sometimes you want more than just peanuts and Cracker Jack. And while we do deliver on your favorite ballpark classics, we're proud to offer a packed lineup of everything you need to make your next meal a home run. Ingalls, a proud sponsor of Furman Baseball and the official grocery store of Furman Athletics. Go Dins!
Life's healthier when you're backed by a Greenville Health System primary care doctor. Because then, the doctor that has your back is backed by the more than 1,000 physicians and specialists at the region's leading health system, all working together to bring you the right care in the right place at the right time. Great health starts with a GHS primary care doctor, and there are more than 200 of them conveniently located throughout the upstate, ready to see you. Find yours today at ghs.org/mydoctor.
Zaxby's food has always brought people together. Catering to the big moments, the little wins, the long talks, and the quick getaways. Because food this inviting is bound to add a lot of flavor to your life.
Introducing the Zax Pack. Served with chicken fingers, sides, Texas toast, and iced tea. Pick one up for dinner or your next event. Friends, family, flavor. Zaxby's. Indescribably good.
I was surprised recently when I learned that Americans spend $80 billion a year on illegal sports gambling. Sure, that's spread out over millions of gamblers, but still it makes you wonder where that money's coming from. Unfortunately, too often it's coming from money that was intended to buy groceries, pay the mortgage, or even put children through college. If gambling's had a negative impact on your life, call the SC Gambling Hotline toll-free at 877-452-5155. Help is confidential and available 24 hours a day. A message from the South Carolina Department of Alcohol and Other Drug Abuse Services.
All right, welcome back to the show. It is Tuesday. It is 10:28. I'm Dan Scott. Thank you for joining us. Hope that your day's off to a good start. I need to tell you quickly about Ridge Media. They are a one-stop shop based in Greenville that does logo, print, and website design, as well as search engine optimization and marketing. They are the ones who are putting together the soon-to-be-launched DanScottShow.com website. And they have clients like me, who are startups, all the way up to Fortune 500 companies. Locally owned marketing firm based here in Greenville. They also have an office in Charleston. So if you want to get a free consultation to find out what they can do for you, like they are for me, won't cost you a dime to sit down and talk to them and discover the process, which is very, very thorough. 864-354-6175, 354-6175 for Ridge Media, and tell them that you heard about them here on the program. All right, let's head to the celebrity guest line and bring in our buddy Bob Woodard. He is the play-by-play voice of Winthrop baseball. Eagles making their annual appearance at Latham Stadium tonight, 6 o'clock, and the Paladins will be going for a season sweep of the two-game series after an 8-3 win in Rock Hill last month. Bob, how you doing, man?
Dan, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on this morning.
Well, good to have you with us. Sorry you couldn't actually make it over into studio like we had originally planned, but we do appreciate the time and looking forward to talking about this game today. Let's kind of reset where this Winthrop team is right now and update our fans. When the season started, this team was in the top 25 of a couple of different polls, and there are seemingly dozens of them that cover collegiate baseball, but they were highly regarded in Tom Reginas's 8th season now, I believe, at the helm.
Yes, it is.
Got off to a very slow start, but since conference play has started, things have turned around as they've gotten into Big South play. The Eagles are 8-4 in the league, and within 3 games of 500 now overall. What has changed for this team, Bob?
Well, boy, if you could answer that question accurately and put your finger on it all the time, I think you'd have the missing link.
Well, that's why you're here.
Yeah. Started out the year at Ole Miss, which, that's a tough place to go in and play, and they swept that series.
Yep.
We didn't, hit the ball, pitch the ball, catch the ball, and throw the ball, and we just didn't do that very well. Coming out of the gate, and then we turned around and lost to Upstate, and had to play South Carolina right away. And then the level of competition that we played was pretty tough, and we just didn't get off to a good start. We've also had some injuries. That's been a key factor, especially lately. Our outfield doesn't represent at all what it started out looking like at the beginning of the year. And in the outfield, we have 2 of our top hitters, so they're not in the lineup right now, and that's certainly been something that's been challenging for us. But I think as far as what we're doing differently in conference, first of all, our shortstop Mitch Spires, probably the premier shortstop in the Big South Conference. He's a big kid, but he moves very, very well. His defense is excellent, and he's started to hit the ball again lately. He's actually had 3 home runs over the weekend, I believe. He had 2 Sunday, and then he also had a a single for a couple of more RBIs. So he's starting to come around. And you say, well, he's starting to come around, and his average is over 300, but he's a 350 hitter, and he has potential to hit 10, 15 home runs for you as well. So I think that's been a big factor.
Yeah, when you get guys going in the lineup, and Furman fans can empathize with you a little bit, because two real important cogs in the middle of the Paladins batting order really haven't gotten it fully cranked up this year, and Brandon Elmy and Landon Kay, when guys that you are expecting to hit for an average and power and drive in runs are struggling, it can have a domino effect. It's funny about this game. It's a game that is really contagious. And, they always say that hitting is contagious, but not hitting can be contagious too.
Well, and errors are contagious as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good point. Hitting certainly is contagious. And what it does is, one guy comes up, gets a big hit. Next guy comes up, he's pumped up because the other guy got a big hit. And all of a sudden, you string 2 or 3 hits together in a row, and you change the entire framework of the ball game.
Visiting with Bob Woodard, he is the play-by-play voice of Winthrop baseball, and it's the Paladins and the Eagles tonight at Latham Stadium, 6 o'clock, 5:45 pregame, by the way, here on the Furman IMG Sports Network. The one area that really hasn't turned around for the Eagles, Bob, is playing well on the road, and that is something they have not done this year. 12-4 at home, but 3-14 away from the friendly confines. Winning on the road is difficult anyway, but that's taking it to the extreme.
It really is. They were 0 for 12 or 0 for 11 their first 11 or 12 road games, and that was just that was shocking. Although we did go out to Clemson and we played them very tough. They won it in the bottom of the 9th inning, and I think they've done that to us a couple of years in a row now. We've had some good road games, but we just we didn't come out on the right end of things. We lost 2 this weekend, and the Saturday game, or the Friday night game actually. No, the Saturday night game was rain delayed in the 9th inning with 1 out. And we were up by 3, and they come back Sunday morning to finish that game, and good heavens, gave up 4 runs and lost the ball game by 1. So, just situations like that are not normal. If you go in to get 2 outs and you got a 3-run cushion, you're going to pretty much anticipate that you're going to win the ball game, but that wasn't the case. Gardner Webb came out and put 4 spot up, and that took care of that.
Besides Spires, who is playing well for the Eagles right now?
Spires has been, first of all, you can't find a better young man. Mitch comes from a real good family. He's a really, really good young man. He's very personable, but when he crosses that line onto the field of play, he's as fierce as they come. And I've seen him make some plays at shortstop this year, Dan, that I didn't think could be made. And one of the things that is exciting about him is that he can go very, very deep into the hole to pick up a ground ball and make that throw because his arm is just that strong. He's really exciting to watch at shortstop.
Beyond him, though, who's playing well?
Well, we've got a freshman that has been holding the fort in our DH spot, Dylan Morton. Dylan had a home run over the weekend, and he's starting to hit the ball. He got a couple of hits Sunday, and boy, you ought to see him take a cut at the ball. When he first started this year, he swung and missed at a couple of pitches, and I thought he was going to injure himself. He really takes a cut at the ball, but he's coming around and he's starting to hit the ball. Tyler Halstead is starting to play well at first base and hit the ball again. Jake Sullivan has been very steady down at third base. He's actually surprised the ball club this year because he's never hit a home run before this year, and all of a sudden he's got 4 on the board. Cale Gibson has been a pleasant surprise. He was a JC transfer, and he was sharing time in the outfield and because of the injuries we've had, he's had to move into a full-time role, and he's done a good job. Tell you what, we've lost, and I don't know what the progress is on him. I was going to check with Coach Reginas tonight when I talked to him. Matthew Mulkey. Mulkey was our starting center fielder, and he was leading the team in home runs and RBIs, and he and Cale Gibson had a collision out in the outfield.
Oh, no.
And Cale was out on concussion protocol for a while, but he's obviously back. And Mulkey injured a thumb and has not come back yet, so I'm not sure where we stand with him. And then also Hunter Lipscomb hasn't been in the lineup the last few games, and I was going to check on him because Hunter's not having the kind of year he had last year, but he's got some pop in his bat. He can drive the ball, certainly. I mean, he hit a monster home run a couple of weeks ago. And, you know, he's a potential, well, he had 60 RBIs last year and 7 home runs, I think. So we're missing his bat in the lineup right now.
We are visiting with Bob Woodard. He is the play-by-play voice for Winthrop baseball. It'll be the Eagles making their way to Latham Stadium tonight, 6 o'clock, for the return match after the Paladins won the first game between the teams in Rock Hill last month, 5-3. Bob, I was looking at the website earlier, and there's no release from the Winthrop Sports Information Office about this game, at least that I could find. I know in the first matchup they started the senior lefty Riley Arnone against the Paladins up there, and he pitched very well. In fact, Furman did not score until he exited the game after 5 innings. So are they going to start Arnone again? Do you know who their starting pitcher is tonight?
Yeah, I haven't heard. It could be Riley Arnone. It could be Colton Rendon. It could be a number of guys. Sunday, they started a freshman, Cody Witten, and a left-hander out of I think he came from Cuthbertson High School, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
But Cody came in and gave him 5 real good innings. Did a very, very good job. He was the winning pitcher in that game. We've got some arms. We've got some good young arms too. So it might be a night for Johnny Holstaff just to get some people to get some work. But I really don't know. Arnone has been throwing very, very well lately. He's come into some important situations over the weekend in relief and closed the door for us and helped us win a couple of ball games. Rendon is a returning freshman All-American,
mm-hmm.
and I believe he was the freshman of the year in the Big South Conference last year. He's been struggling a little bit, but he's certainly got big-time potential. So it could be a number of people that go out there first, but typically on a Tuesday when you've only got one game during the week, everybody's going to get a shot if they haven't worked.
Yeah, as I'm looking at the stat sheet here, Arnone, who, if memory serves, did not have any saves when we played last month, now has 4 saves, so it's obvious he has been elevated to the closer role.
Yeah, we're kind of closing by committee right now.
Mm-hmm.
Dalton Whitaker is still probably the go-to guy, but Riley has certainly been doing a great job, and part of the reason that he's got 4 saves is because he's getting into a ball game early and staying there because he's doing the job.
Yeah, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Yep.
But we've got some good arms, and if this ball club gets healthy heading into the last half of conference play, we're going to be awfully tough to beat.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how these teams stack up. About a month later, after the Paladins had the comeback win 8-3 last time out up at your place. So looking forward to seeing.
You keep bringing that up.
Well, I have to.
I'm trying to forget that.
It's the media, man. That's what we do.
I'm sure you remember a couple of years ago we came out there and I think it was like 23-6
mm-hmm.
Or 23-8, and then you came out in our place about a month later and shut us out 12-zip.
Yep.
So it's just any given day. The sun's not hanging properly in the sky and the ground is crooked, and you just never know.
There are a lot of ways to explain some of the more unexplainable things in the game of baseball. And one of my most favorite ones comes from Jim Bouton's book, Ball 4, in which it was said it's a round ball and a round bat, and you got to hit it square. And so I think that's probably all you need to know about this great game of baseball. Hey, Bob, listen,
That's
man.
right.
Thank you for the time. We again hate that you couldn't make it in to the studio like originally planned, and more than anything, I hate that you're not going to be able to buy lunch like you said. But
I thought you were buying lunch.
See, again, there you go. The media twisting the words of one of us. People just have to figure out which one of us it is. But hope to see you tonight. Hope things work out. We'll be there, and if not, then we'll try to do a representative job for the Winthrop fans as well.
Appreciate that, Dan, and you've always just been a fantastic guy and one of the really, really good guys in this business. And I am so grateful for the way you do your thing and also your friendship.
All right, buddy. We'll see you soon. Thanks.
All right. God bless.
All right. God bless you. That is Bob Woodard. He is the play-by-play voice baseball-wise for the Winthrop Eagles. We will take a break and come back. And in the interest of full disclosure, I'm going to put a quick wrap on things today because, as you can hear, I still don't have the full voice. It is 3 into the third week now. So much worrying me, so much so that tomorrow I have a ENT appointment just to make sure that there's nothing else going on down there. But I want to save as much as I can to get through 9 innings tonight. But I wanted to get through this part of it. So I'll take a break. We'll come back and do a very, very quick wrap of the show and say our goodbyes. Before we go out, just a word about Hall's Chop House, located downtown on Main Street. Phenomenal people. The food is just unbelievable. There I go using that word again, but it's true. The Allen Brothers Prime Steaks lead the menu. Everything else falls into play under that. Open 7 nights a week for dinner, open for brunch on Sundays, live music every time the doors are open. And now he said, open for lunch on Fridays and Saturdays. Billy and the folks there at Hall's Chop House do phenomenal work. They have that knack, no matter how crowded the place is, and it is packed night in and night out, of making you and your table feel like you're the most important people there while you're in the facility. That takes a lot of hard work and dedication. Hall's Chop House, downtown Greenville. Tell them you heard about them here on the show. Quick break, and we'll come back and put a wrap on things after this. Don't go away.
Holding, number 79, defense, first down. I'm also holding a party tonight.
Great call by the official. Looks like we've got another flag on the field.
Holding, a Pepsi. Necessary refreshment.
Hey, Ted, bring some of that Pepsi to my party.
Pepsi and the NFL. Welcome to the Fun Doesn't End Zone.
The Atlanta Bread Company wants to make your dining experience as convenient as possible, especially if you're ordering takeout. Go online to atlantabreadcompany.com, place your order there, and pay for it too. Then, when you get to the restaurant at Cherrydale Point, you breeze right by the cash registers and go straight to the pickup counter where your food will be waiting. And speaking of food, try the new Shrimp Po' Boy, a delicious and surprisingly healthy addition to the already great menu. That's the Atlanta Bread Company, Cherrydale Point in Greenville.
The cows want to remind you to cater your next party with chicken. Like the 15 crowd-pleasing trays from Chick-fil-A. Whether it's the nuggets, brownie, or chicken minis tray, both you and the cows will have more reason to celebrate. Chick-fil-A Catering.
Don't forget to drop by Chick-fil-A at Cherrydale. The best place to stop on the way home from a Paladins game. Chick-fil-A at Cherrydale. Every Furman fan's favorite.
Chick-fil-A Catering.
If you've been sidelined by an injury, the St. Francis Sports Medicine team is here 24/7 to get you back on the field. Our highly trained network of physicians, athletic trainers, and physical therapists treat all types of sports-related injuries, even those that don't occur from playing a sport. Call the St. Francis Hurt Line at 675-HURT for priority appointments or at-home advice. Again, that's 675-HURT.
show. It is a final segment that's going to see us wrap things up just a little bit ahead of time. Our thanks again to Bob Woodard for joining us to kind of preview tonight's Furman and Winthrop matchup, 6 o'clock at Latham Stadium. Look forward to having you there, and bring a radio with you because you can listen on the campus FM, which got about a 7 or 8 mile reach around campus, but you bring it, listen on 95.9, and you always get the doubleheader, the game you're watching and the one that I'm calling. As we get set to close it out, before we go, don't forget about my friends at Security Complete, which is now my personal security company protecting my family when I am both home and on the road. Local guys out of Liberty who have 40 years plus experience in the industry, and they get it. They understand what it takes to deliver the kind of customer service that you need to make sure that your family is protected and you feel safe. Whether it's family, business, whatever, they can take care of it for you. We'll fill you in more on that offer tomorrow. I just want to drive home the point today, again, that I was happy with the previous company I had until they were bought out by a bigger company. And then it just wasn't the same. These guys, I know who they are. I know where the monitoring system calls are coming from. I don't have to worry about not recognizing a phone number if the alarm is set off, whether I'm home or on the road. I know who they are. I know the level of expertise, and I know the high-end technology they're using that's protecting my house as well as saving me money. Security Complete is the real deal. There you see the phone number, 864-546-0360. They're on Facebook at Security Complete, and also on Twitter. Just take the O out of complete, and it's at Security, CMPLETE, and you can follow them and get information at all of those places. All right, again, that's going to do it. I'm going to wrap it up early and try to save some voice. Never know what an extra 10 or 15 minutes might mean over the course of a 3-hour baseball game. Talk to you from Latham Stadium tonight. And again, 5:45 the pregame, 6 p.m. is the first pitch for Furman and Winthrop. We do know John Michael Bertrand will go for the Paladins. Don't know who's going for the Eagles, as you just heard from Bob Woodard, and there is no press release game notes package on the Winthrop website for this game. So we tried. But look forward to seeing you at the ballpark, and then back here tomorrow for the Wednesday edition of the program, which will include our visit with Dave Glenn. I think we have either 2 or 3 visits left before he takes his summer sabbatical. So we'll make the best of them when we go around the Atlantic Coast Conference. Until then, you folks have a great rest of your Tuesday, and I will see you later. God bless you. So long, everybody.